sexy truck driver voice this time.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Episode 624. It's not COVID, okay? It's not. It's not the flu, but my God. Suze is not up to par. I have what doctors refer to as being under the weather.
Well, hey, that could be an accurate description based on what we were talking about earlier. You said one of the worst parts is not being able to get out in the sunshine.
I know. I was saying to Sarah how, like, in Pittsburgh, you wait 6 months for the sun to come out. And then as soon as the sun came out, I was stricken. You know what was funny? Not funny at all, actually. For 4 days, I could not hear out of one of my ears.
Stop it.
True.
Stop.
For 4 days.
I would think I was going crazy.
It was I felt like I was underwater. And then, you know, eventually I could hear again. And I felt like one of those babies that got the cochlear implant.
Oh my
and
God.
they record them, like, hearing for the first time.
You should have tried hydrogen peroxide.
And then they light up and they're so happy, but then they're kind of scared at the same time.
Suze.
And then they recoil.
Oh, it was like too much, overstimulation.
Yes, I kept saying, Adam, please, you're hurting my ears.
Oh my God,
It was ridiculous.
How did it do it on its own?
Yeah, it just eventually cleared.
That gives me feelings.
Really?
Well, yeah, like heebie-jeebie kind of things, because it's like,
why?
Because like it's inflammation. Like there's only a few things that could be. It's like plugged up because of like
mucus or whatever.
Yeah, and then it goes, and then it's like, I don't know, just
it's a whole
feels
thing.
like torturous. Like having an ear plugged up is misery when you like. You can hear out of it, but then you can't hear out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
No.
0 out of 10 would not recommend. Okay, everybody? But I am thankful that...
Are you just like getting freaking crazy on cough syrup or what?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Because I was telling Sarah I'm trying to write comedy bits, and I think things are funny that aren't.
No, they're funny.
I don't have a good gauge of reality right now. So this is going to be a fun episode.
I was like, that sounds like fun.
But did you watch the ridiculous Netflix documentary series Keep Sweet?
Was this about Warren Jeff?
Yes, the Mormon cult.
I didn't watch that
Mormon
one
cult.
because I watched like 5 documentaries on this years ago.
That's what I saw. Somebody said there are just so
too
many.
many.
Do we really need another one?
Yeah, and I don't want to hear that same not my favorite subject matter.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I was glad to watch it, though, because I hadn't seen any footage. I had read the news, of course, about all the polygamous cult and then when he went to jail and all that. But I had never seen footage. And it really did illustrate why documentaries are so powerful, because hearing, victims tell their story and then seeing the footage of, them living their lives, it does change it. I mean, I don't know, it makes it more potent or more real.
Yeah.
And seeing the people that escaped and that now have quote unquote normal lives and how it feels for them. My God, it is unbelievable what they went through.
Yeah. What was there? What was the footage mostly from? Just
there. I don't know how they got it, but there was just tons of day-to-day footage of all of the activities that they did, and the singing and the weird songs and the lyrics about. Like, the reason it's called Keep Sweet is because that was what they kept telling all the women all the time.
Yes. Oh, my God, I can hear it. And he would play it over the loudspeaker.
It's almost like a hypnotic thing, you know?
Oh! That is so freaky. Yeah, okay. And when he gives me, just gross feelings, obviously.
Totally. Yeah.
And I feel like when you look at his eyes and all the footage, it looks the same to me as what's his name from The Jinx.
Yes.
What's that guy's name?
Robert Durst.
Robert Durst. Look at their freaking eyeballs and tell
when
me
you called him Fred
that's
Durst?
not the eyes of fucking darkness. Sorry.
Can we reflect on when you called him Fred Durst that one time? No, not unlike when you called Ted Bundy Al Bundy.
Listen, I'm my mother's daughter, okay? Okay.
This is so funny to me. This is probably the cough syrup.
Wait, and what was the other one? There was, oh no, it was Ted Bundy, Al Bundy. Yes. Gosh.
So by the time
I was
this
thinking about
comes
Zac
out,
Efron, and he played Ted Bundy.
by the time this comes out, we will have announced our new spin-off series called Things We Got Wrong. I cannot wait till we get to that episode.
Oh my gosh, that is going to be so good.
Ted Bundy, Al Bundy, okay, anyway, yes, you're so right. When you look in his beady little gross eyes,
Beady.
you see
They're
the face of evil.
Black.
Mm-hmm.
Susie, you got me all riled up. I was feeling very chill at the beginning of this.
Oh, no.
And now I'm like, I am, woo!
You know, the most chilling thing from it was a audio recording of the guy, Warren Jeffs, with his 12-year-old bride.
Oh, fuck.
Telling her what she needed to do physically.
Ugh.
And
God, Suze.
I'm so thankful that recording exists, though, so that he could be prosecuted adequately. Because, oh my God, too much.
Gosh, it's gross in every way. Those poor girls. Like, it's brainwashing.
What's bonkers, though, Sarah, is that cult still exists, and even while he's in jail, he's still running the show. And those dum-dums don't leave. I shouldn't say that because they are manipulated, but come on, people.
Right. I can never understand when you know, the like, it goes 2 generations, and, like, you can't say, okay, well, maybe I wasn't able to do this for me, but I could never subject my child to that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They thought that Warren's dad, whatever his name was, they thought he was like the final prophet. And then when he kicked the bucket and he had 65 wives.
Oh my God.
Right? Of all ages, you know?
Oh God.
Yeah. Those young ones, they were like coming up with ways to like not have to deal with him in the night.
Of course they were. Poor things.
Can you imagine? Ugh.
I can't. It's awful. Oh.
Any hoodles.
Man, they like, it feels like, I don't know if it's like Netflix releases things in, well, this is exactly what we talked about many, many episodes ago. So the thing that really draws people in is a little bit of novelty and a little bit of new. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like
you mean novelty and familiarity?
Novelty and familiarity. Yes. Thank you. And I was like, no, what's the one from before? And it feels like Netflix releases, or like all these streaming services release documentaries like by theme. So we're like heavy in the religion documentary.
Yeah, Mormons are having a moment, and it's
a moment.
They're probably so mad about it. I mean, for real, because it's not good news. Like, I was reading about Under the Banner of Heaven.
Yes.
Based on the book, and that one is not flattering either.
Right.
They're probably so pissed.
Come on. Yeah.
Hashtag not all Mormons.
Right. Of course. Oh man.
And I did a tweet, and I knew that I shouldn't because it was the cough syrup, but I could not help but like they said that in the Keep Sweet how there was like a manual and these ladies had to all wear their hair in that weird style.
Ugh.
And it is so unattractive. And I just want to know why Jesus would want them to do that.
I feel like this is one of those, like, doesn't it feel like a dated hairstyle?
Oh, yeah.
Like a million years ago. Okay, so what I feel like happened is one of these guys got fixated on like some chick who like
in like 1890
wouldn't give it up and was like, you know how they do that, like that, like the murderers all will murder like the one all blonde hair with the, you know, it's like
they get anyone that looks like the woman that they are mad about.
Wronged them. And I feel like that maybe happened here. And he's like, no, now you have to make your hair like that for forever. And like he's just like, ugh, marrying the same woman over and over and over because they all look the fucking same.
But I want to know why they think that Jesus is like, this is the hairstyle for you. It makes no sense. No. But speaking of hair, how great is kitsch in that satin pillowcase situation?
Okay. That is my trick for the curly hair.
Right. Well, see, okay, you guys know I'm on the hair journey, as the influencers say.
Yes.
Because of the incident.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. a third of my hair, as Sarah said. Yeah. But Kitsch is so awesome because they have all these products that will help protect your hair and keep it healthy. Thank goodness. Mm-hmm. Satin pillowcases.
Yes. And let me tell you, I am I've been a long-time user of satin pillowcases. There's a difference.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, I have the old and new.
Mm-hmm. Silky silk.
Yeah, big difference.
Well, and now, you know how I use hot rollers, but they damage your hair, so I can't use them anymore. So I got their heatless satin curling rollers.
Oh, cool.
No more heat damage.
Heck yeah.
But still get the volume and the real cute curl.
Yes.
I'm so impressed with it.
Me too.
Because I always thought they wouldn't work. I was like, you need the heat. You don't need the heat, baby.
You don't need the heat, baby.
Kitsch is offering you 30% off your entire order at mykitsch.com/braincandy. That's right, 30% off of anything and everything at mykitsch. It's spelled mykitsch.com/braincandy. One more time, mykitsch.com/braincandy for 30% off your order. What do you think about crop circles?
Ooh, excellent question. I go back and forth.
Really?
I mean,
you do love an alien story.
I love an alien fuck. I mean, how do they do it?
Well,
I know, like, I've seen the big, pieces of wood. Like, I've seen the wood that
Yeah.
That. But I do not.
You're not buying it.
Some of the geometric patterns, like, you can't do like that.
Really? You think so?
I don't know. NASA just said, or the freaking, who flies in the sky? Help. Air Force.
Astronauts?
Who are the people that
Is this a trick question?
It did sound like a riddle. Fair.
You said help.
Yeah. The Air Force or whoever just like came out with, I'll just say the military, came out with
they were like basically aliens are real.
Yeah. So like.
Yeah, I do think that is true.
I just don't think they're made in the way that we think. Like maybe it's like a pulse or like a sound does crazy shit and sound that you can't even hear. We talked about this.
That's true.
Infrasound.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the New York Times did a piece about these two guys in England that are pranksters, and they admit to having done at least the ones in England. Mm-hmm. And they, have the, as you said, the wood plank, and it's attached to like a rope, and they use the plank to flatten the wheat or corn. Or
Is everybody gonna think I'm a dummy for thinking these?
No, because in the article they're interviewing all these people who still are like, it doesn't explain the whole thing. Like, there's still lots of examples that nobody has taken credit or blame for.
Yeah.
And there's these other things, like they'll say, when you measure like radioactivity, I think, at the sites, that it's like higher levels of certain
things. Come on.
So
Thank you.
there are lots of people who are still like, this is incomplete, this explanation.
Yes.
So I don't doubt that there are these pranksters and stuff, and that could be all of them. But there's plenty of people who think there's more to the story.
Yeah. Okay, good. Are those plenty of people the kind of people that would wear tinfoil hats?
I'm sure there's a lot of those. But I think...
I'd like to not fall into that category if we could.
I think the problem with the people they talk to in the article is that these, I don't know, self-proclaimed experts make a lot of money off of saying that it's unexplained, and, you know, they do speaking engagements and things. So they're not exactly reliable either, because their income hinges upon...
on them being unexplained.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that experts or like scholars would just say, yeah, these are people doing it. But
I need to Google crop circle real quick.
Yeah, Google it. And you can look at the one in the New York Times, because I don't understand those higher readings of radioactivity or whatever those...
Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I remember as a kid watching Unsolved
I'm
Mysteries.
looking at a lot of these and I'm like, fake.
Meaning like pranksters.
Definitely fake.
Uh-oh.
That one doesn't look fake.
How do you decide?
Because how intricate it is and how much it looks like a human shape, like a more... There are... If it looks like sacred geometry, like the mathematical... like things, then it feels more like this fake, that, and it doesn't even look symmetrical. But if it just looks like somebody put a Star Trek logo on the fucking ground, I'm like, I don't know. These all look fake to me. The crop circles aren't real. This is silly.
Okay, good. So I
these are fake. What? Tell me one of none of these look like they all look like they could be created with wood planks. Yeah, I take back my... I don't know what I had in my head. I think the last time... I was very scared of aliens for a very long time. Here's why. There was an earthquake that happened in Northridge when I was about 8 years old. And I, at that time, was watching a lot of the X-Files. It was my favorite show. And I always equated shaking and the lights flickering to aliens attacking. So when we had the earthquake and my dad grabbed me out of bed because I didn't wake up, and the lights were flickering and the earth was shaking, I was like, aliens are here!
It's go time.
That was so frightening to me. So I still... and then the movie Signs really fucking got to me. And then... I think it's called Signs with aliens.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. And so I'm like, I am fearful in a not logical way. And so I think I've avoided anything crop circle related for many years because it
freaks you out.
It freaks me out. Like, I want to believe, but I don't want to see. So now looking at these, fake. This is silly. 12-year-old me believed this, but...
Yeah, I think there's a lot. It's a lot of fun to have a mystery.
This is ridiculous.
And to think.
Anybody with half a brain can look at these and say that's... Who believes this?
We've really made a lot of progress here. I mean, my God.
All of it.
I was trying to be nice about it.
Who put, and then, come on. That looks like the Death Star. And if you could do that, then you could do all the other ones. There's no way alien life was like, oh, I know. I'm going to do a recreation of Darth Vader's ship. That's fucking
Millennium
stupid.
Falcon. Well, I think I tend to believe in, Occam's razor, like that usually the most obvious answer is the answer.
Yep.
But I think it's often the case of like that sunken cost fallacy where once people sort of invest in a belief,
Yes.
it is very difficult to convince them to turn the other way. Mm-hmm. And so, like, they interviewed this conspiracy theory professor, and he said that the problem with conspiracy theories is that they're self-sealing. So, like, whatever happens, they say, oh, that proves it, you know, on either end. Like, it's just this thing that you can't get out of. And people feel like they've lost control, and instead of admitting that we live in a world where we can't control things, they take comfort from believing they have agency and they can blame someone, like, you know, the mass shooting is actually actors, or 5G is causing COVID.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just that we live in a world that's fucked up.
Yep. And what was the documentary about the flat earthers? Something.
Oh, yeah.
That was so good. In that, they were saying that conspiracy theorists think from Z to A rather than thinking from A to Z.
Exactly.
And
it's
you get
confirmation
to fill in
bias.
a whole bunch of the middle with whatever bullshit you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is with my mom. I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere when she said we have different facts.
But do we have different definitions of the term facts?
Right. One thing I think we can all agree on, though, is that it would probably be a good thing to talk to a therapist, and BetterHelp can help you find one. It is an online therapy service that can get you in touch with a person to talk to, whether you're dealing with relationship stuff or grief or stress, like everybody. You can chat online, video, phone, whatever. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. And you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Brain Candy listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/braincandy. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/braincandy. I mean,
everybody needs somebody to talk to.
Somebody. Yeah.
Probably about, you know who does? Conspiracy theorists.
That is for damn sure.
If they only had a therapist.
Well, remember when you watched that Flat Earth thing, a lot of it seemed to hinge on them just really wanting a community.
Yes, correct.
Rather than whether the Earth was flat.
You know what? In a weird, okay, this is the difference. You know how I say you want therapist Sarah or friend Sarah?
Friend Sarah, yeah.
Therapist Sarah would say if he found community with crop circle enthusiasts, you do you. And you have so much fun with that. And that is a protective factor, and that's a wonderful reason that's a passion, and we would totally lean into that if that's what they were into. Yeah. There you go. Live your life.
Yeah.
If
you're not hurting
crop
anybody,
those circles,
you do what
circle
you
those
want.
crops, or whatever you do.
Crop them.
Crop them.
And then contrastly, I read an article, I think it was also in the New York Times, but I'm not positive. It was about this group of women they call themselves the Hermets, and they really just don't want to be around people.
Yeah, I get that.
And they enjoy the company of women who don't enjoy the company of anyone else. And
this sounds like my mom and a lot of her friends.
Yes. And
everybody in Costa Rica.
You know, I think we often think of hermits or recluses as like people who, like the Unabomber, who live in this shed in the woods. But these gals, they live in New York. They like to be in the city. They like to be around people. But they don't want to be like interacting all the time, and they like to be alone a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah. Well,
and
yes.
It was emphasizing like not everyone who is alone is lonely.
For sure. And also define being alone, because like they're alone together, right? So like one of my favorite things is like being with somebody where you can be in a room together or like in a house together and not talk to each other, but just know the other person's there.
And one of my favorite things is going to have lunch alone at a bar or a restaurant. I love it. It's so fun. It's peaceful, but you still around other humans.
Yeah. Reading at the bar.
Mm-hmm. Some people don't like that at all, but I find
Love
it
it.
so nice.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But I think they were kind of pointing out how men that do this or go off on their own are a little bit more typical and maybe accepted. But when women do it, it's seen as like, why don't you want a partner? Why don't you want kids?
Yeah.
And they're just like, I just don't.
I get them.
it.
And, you know, what was the movie that won for Best Actress? Frances
Dormant.
McDormand.
Dormant.
What? She was a Nomad, maybe? Was it called?
I didn't see it.
Oh, it was
But
so
I
good.
think it
Susie,
may have
you should
been.
see that.
What's it about?
This.
She just wanted to be alone.
Well, it's like, sort of.
What? You don't want to spoil it or what?
Well, I don't want to spoil it, but there's nothing to spoil because it's like more of just like a, I don't even know what you call these.
Oh, she was, so Nomad, she was like traveling.
Yeah, but kind of like because of economic situations as it is right now, like doesn't have the, like, you know, can't like live anywhere. So it was like living out in the middle of a kind of, not a, sort of a commune in the middle of the desert. I'm doing a terrible job explaining this movie, but it's good.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I mean,
I
it's
won't
nominated
watch
for
it.
Best Picture.
Okay, moving on. Did you see the weird sort of situation on Twitter? I think it was originally on Reddit and then it migrated to Twitter about how Swedish people don't feed their guests.
Oh, was this the wedding?
No, it was just like if you have someone over at your house and it's time for dinner, you just like make them sit alone in a room while you go
No.
eat. Yes.
No. Mm-hmm. That feels like it goes against every
Right. Social norm.
social
globally.
You can't stop me from feeding you if you come in the house.
You know how there's like certain things that are supposedly universal, like smiling. And
Yeah. What the heck is up there?
I thought hospitality was a human, innate, global, universal. But so this was, you know, somebody said it online and then everyone started weighing in. And Swedish people were like, yeah, it's like not a big deal.
Stop it.
Yes.
Why? How did this become? And the other people are just fine with it? Is this like this is the most passive aggressive thing, like cultural norm I've ever heard of.
Yeah, and they were trying to make sense of it, being like, well, you know, we really believe in independence and like not infringing on other families, so like we let them do their own thing.
Who's dictating this? The people sitting in the other room? Okay, here's my question. Whoa. Mm-hmm. My head is thinking about this in the other direction, I think. Is this the people making dinner being like, you can't have any?
Yeah.
Or are these the guests being so polite that they're like,
no,
we cannot interrupt your dinner?
No. It's the host.
No!
Yes.
It's the bad one?
Yeah, because
the example
that was given,
I was giving them a little leniency there.
The example that was given was like when you're at a friend's house when you're a kid and you're playing, and then the mom calls the one kid, the son, and says, time for dinner. Mm-hmm. And then he goes and eats dinner. And then the guest sits there and keeps playing because he's not invited to the table. And this is how they do it. And it's normal.
Nope. Normal to whom?
Right. Just Swedes. What the fuck?
Cuckoo crazy. Could you imagine child coming over to your house and you being like, little Jimmy, we're having pizza. You can have none.
That's like not letting your guest use the toilet.
That's
like,
insane.
It's a basic human need.
Yeah, eating. And it's a way to it's so much more. It's like
it's so obvious. I don't know. It makes no sense.
Are we what's happening here? Are we not seeing something?
No, because the explanations that were given were inadequate in my opinion. They were like, well, you know, we're an agricultural society.
What?
everybody is supposed to, like historically, we all, self-sufficient. So we all grew our own produce and whatever.
We're everybody in Sweden, we're like, how much food they're throwing out a year?
Exactly.
Come on.
This reminds me of like anytime there's something weird in the Bible, a pastor will be like, well, in the original Hebrew, and then they'll do all these gymnastics to try to like make it make sense when it absolutely does not.
Right.
It's like they're doing that, where they're like, oh, yes, 3,000 years ago, one guy did this thing. It's like, maybe you should just feed your guests and stop being fucking weirdos.
Yeah. For goodness sakes, with all those meatballs.
Right? I got to ask Christian because, I mean, I know he's Norwegian, but like, I feel like he might know. Because when Christian from Road Rules came to stay at my house, when I picked him up at the airport, he was telling me how he couldn't believe that I offered to let him stay at my house while he was going to be in town. Because in Norway, like, they don't do that.
Everybody's so...
Yeah.
Well, you know what? No wonder they rank high in happiness. They don't have to do shit for anybody else.
I guess so.
But that goes against what hang on. The 5 things that lead to happiness.
Right.
That we know scientifically. One of them includes kind acts towards others. How the fuck are these people the happiest?
I guess it turns out it's just social services that make you happy. having your government actually care about you. I'll tell you who I feel cares about me, and that's the people at Noom.
Yes, there you go. Well, help you achieve your goals. Oh.
That's all I want out of life. I am obsessed with goals, and I think that's why Noom and I are soulmates, because Noom is a psychology-based approach that helps you adapt your lifestyle to whatever goals you want to do. If you want to improve in a certain way, they can help you do that. Mm-hmm. They send you, ideas and scientific stuff to show you how to kind of like change your brain, which we talk about a lot with that book, Power of Habit. I love a good habit. You know how I feel about flossing. So cognitive behavioral approach, for me, is the most effective way to get me to change. So that's why I love Noom, and I know you will too. Start building better habits for healthier, long-term results. Sign up for your trial at Noom.com/braincandy. That's NOOM.com/braincandy. Give it a whirl. You got goals, man. Don't you, people?
Drink some more water.
Anyway, if you're Swedish and you're listening, can you please help me? Yeah. Because
WTF.
You got to explain this. It makes no sense.
No sense. Give me one other country that does that. One other.
I don't think
culture.
there is one.
If there isn't, come on.
Well, white people are weird. I think we know this.
Very weird.
Because in black and brown cultures, like food is love.
Come on.
It's a beautiful thing. White people lean more towards like being idiots.
Yeah, that's true. All the time.
And Swedish people are extra white.
This is true.
That's all I know.
There you go. Hop, skip, and jump to that conclusion.
Right. That's science, everyone.
There you go. Facts.
Okay. Facts. Moving on. I think it was Jessica.
Then they got a whole bunch of freaking, what are they called? Saunas that are, no, maybe that's Finland. Finland has all the saunas.
They probably do too. They seem like they would be real into that.
Come on. I was in Norway and they were, nobody let me into their house, but.
Yeah, right.
You know what?
See? They're fun though.
Yeah. You know what?
Okay.
They did not like us when, but nobody likes us when we go out.
How do you know? What was it like?
Oh, because Jenna and Nani were dancing on the bar. And they were looking at us like, are you out of your goddamn minds? Then there was another thing about smiling. They were like, you guys all smile at us all the time. And like nobody's like smiling all the time like we did.
I mean, you had me with the bar thing. I mean, that is weird.
Oh, yeah.
I always felt so
I was looking at them like that. Like, do you understand we are in another... You think this is a good idea? Oh, for fuck's sake. Just earning America's reputation.
I really don't like that. I always felt embarrassed when we would go out with people from the show.
Most. I've never heard more inappropriate things shouted in places where you should be respectful than
That's
with
awful.
these clowns.
I hate it.
Tell me, I mean, like, if anybody thinks I'm being harsh, I'm sorry. They're grown adults. I'll never forget when, I'll just say it, I don't care. I'll never forget when we were in the airport in South Africa, and there was a jewelry store, and Zach points and screams as he's in American flag, swim trunks and like stupid
God.
glasses with a bandana around his head, like looking like that.
A stereotype.
And he points and screams, "Look, blood diamonds."
Oh my God.
I was like, kill me now. Get me the fuck away from these idiots. I can't take it.
I love when you do that.
What?
Like when you'll raise an octave. These idiots.
Because I can't. Like, I have to go. My mind goes to another place and my voice has to follow, clearly.
I hear you.
What the actual
it's terrible. It's so embarrassing.
I'm like associated with that.
It's gross. Let's not talk about it. Okay. Moving on. The Anthony Bourdain documentary is on HBO now. Mm-hmm. It was. It took forever to come to streaming for free. And I finally watched it, and I remember how we talked about how they used AI to make the narration in his voice. And unlike the Andy Warhol version, which was using his exact words that he had written, they, wrote the script. And I didn't love that. So I tried to, put the narration out of my mind and just watch, the interviews and then the other footage. And I was really glad I watched it. It was interesting. He was far less likable than I would have predicted because, people worship that guy.
Yeah.
He has such a mystique, people really love him. And there's a lot of things to love about him. And he was sort of this imperfect ambassador of open-mindedness, I guess you would say. He would travel the world and really hear people and listen to them and respect them, even if their lives were very different. Like, he probably wouldn't say what we said about Swedish people.
Probably not. Yes, he was
He'd
very...
probably say,
Yeah. Yes.
Different strokes.
Yeah.
But the end of the film was very difficult, of course, because of how his life ended. And, they essentially blamed the gal he was seeing.
No.
For it. Yeah. And sort of her influence on him. And then she was caught by the paparazzi with another man. And that was the day before he did it.
Okay, but that's not fair to say that somebody can cause a person to do that. Unless they're, really...
I know. I had the same feeling. Because this is a guy who struggled with addiction and mental illness for a very long time.
Nobody can make anybody kill themselves. Unless it's like that one situation the woman went to jail for.
True. I think that they would probably argue that they were just saying that this was the impetus or the straw that broke the camel's back.
Okay. That is... But,
And it probably was.
Yes.
And they left out an important part of the story too, because they showed her at Cannes when she said on stage, "I was raped by Harvey Weinstein here at Cannes, however many years ago," and then they showed how Anthony became a Me Too warrior and advocate for women. Mm-hmm. They did not mention how his girlfriend was later accused by a boy of being a predator.
Oh.
And how Anthony paid off the boy.
Oh, my God.
That happened, and they did not include that. I think that part, it matters, though, because I think he started to realize that he had been duped by her. That Isn't that crazy?
Cheesy, crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's so disturbing.
It is disturbing. That makes me feel like, I don't know.
Like he kind of got whipped up into her tornado of chaos.
And it's that combination of somebody, it's like the perfect storm.
Mm-hmm.
He's the kindling was already there and she was the spark.
Yeah. And I think it is fair, but I mean, like I said, the whole story was not shown, and so that felt weird to me. I was like, wonder why they didn't. Maybe because that made him look bad that he paid off that guy. I don't know. It's a complicated story, but he's a complicated man. Mm-hmm. And we all are, really.
Interesting. I don't know if is it worth watching?
I think if you really liked him or the message of like food and travel as a way to connect human beings, it is. But otherwise, it just sort of felt a little tabloidy.
That's what I feel like it's going to feel
the
like.
The end especially.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was really waiting for it because he has this reputation as being so influential in this world, and you can see he's so self-absorbed, though. That's why I say he didn't come off as likable as I thought he would.
Yeah, a lot of those chef kind of guys are like that.
Yes.
And he's a TV chef. They're like, they have to be
double whammy.
Mm-hmm. They're like that.
Yeah.
It comes with it. It's the flip side to the coin of being charismatic and, charismatic and manipulative, or
yeah, right.
Not like siblings. He was. I'm just saying, like, for people who are narcissists. But
when he had a little daughter that he left behind.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, that hurts.
Yeah.
Any hoodles.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did I want to talk to you about?
I will say, I went to one of the restaurants that he recommended when I was in Russia.
Yeah?
It was the worst meal I ever had in my fucking life.
Up.
It was, but the problem, or I don't know if you want to call it problem, whatever. The issue could have been that it's a seasonal, like, farm to table restaurant. Mm-hmm. And so he was having a different meal than I was. Okay. But I had foie gras ice cream, like pate ice cream or something like that. I think it was foie gras ice cream. No, pate ice cream.
Yeah, because foie gras is like bad news.
Frost.
It's like what? No, it's the thing where they like force feed baby calves.
Yeah. And
it's like illegal in certain places.
Yeah.
You had that?
One of those.
Foie gras?
That, or it was, no, it was probably duck, it was probably liver. It was probably like pate, like that. Isn't that what it is? Like pate. I'm saying all the wrong things. I always get those two. I don't know why I get them mixed up. Now I know what is in my mind, but now I can't figure out which.
Is liver also.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, it says it's of a duck or goose.
Yes, that one.
But they force feed them. And so a lot of people feel like it's cruel and unethical because it's like painful. You ate that. In an ice cream? What the fuck?
In an ice cream form.
Sarah.
Like mousse. It was like moussed up and then frozen.
That
and
is
then
disgusting.
It was... So, and look, I am an adventurous eater. I love all things. This was bland. It was all one color. It was one. It was all taupe with like a sprig of green.
And maybe all the critiques, I did not think you were going to say it was just bland.
It was bland. It was like everything in the meal tasted.
Sarah had cruel liver ice cream, and then her critique was that it was bland.
Well, like, the whole meal, like, everything tasted the same. Like, it was just
Oh, I see.
Like, throughout the whole meal, and no fun flavors dancing on your tongue or anything like that. In Russia in the middle of, I don't know, December or whenever I was there. Not December, that would have been freezing. Like, but still, cold times. Anyways. So, Anthony Bourdain, not such a good recommendation.
Well, I mean, I do know that he liked weird, quote unquote weird foods, and wanted people to be adventurous and stuff. But if it's the worst meal you've ever had in your life,
it really was.
That is not great.
It 100% was. I was like,
Okay.
Yeah, you don't think of like traditional Russian food and think, yum.
Yeah, right. They're not known for their cuisine. Their vodka, yeah.
Yeah, because they need to be drunk to enjoy that kind of food.
Right. They got to kill the taste buds.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a documentary I watched on Amazon Prime that's called Most Likely to Succeed.
Oh, tell me more.
Okay, it's old, but it was also, I'm talking like 2001.
Okay.
Old. And it was filmed over 10 years, which I always love. Mm-hmm. I love longitudinal studies and longitudinal films because they wanted to look at, I think they did maybe 4 or 5 students who got most likely to succeed in high school.
Oh, my goodness. Tell me more.
Yeah. And then 10 years later, and all along the 10 years, see how that path went and then where they ended up. And it is so great because what you see is that I think there's this mythology that people like to imagine that America is a meritocracy, that if you just work hard and you have talent and whatever, you're bright, you're going to be fine. You're going to make it. And that turns a blind eye to obstacles that people that are in poverty or people that experience racism and stuff like that have, and how they have a farther way to go to get to the same place. And so, essentially you watch as the white privileged people thrive and become like incredibly successful. And then people who have greater obstacles, they hang in there, but it is a totally different road. Yeah. And they have to fight so much harder to get half as far.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I was really glad I watched it because you're rooting for all of them because they're all nice, but you realize like even if it is a meritocracy and there are people like Oprah who grew up without running water in frickin' Mississippi or whatever, and then become a billionaire, that is almost impossible.
Yeah,
especially
for sure.
Now, but really ever. Mm-hmm. And so it's not an even playing field. I heard this analogy one time of like if you're in a classroom and in the very front of the classroom is like a garbage can and each student gets like a crumpled up piece of paper and you all have to shoot and try to get it into the trash can. If you're in the front row, you're more likely to get it in.
Gonna make that
and
shot.
If you're in the back row, you might still get it in, but it is way harder. And that's, what life is like.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's a trick shot for that kid. And
it can happen. You could be Oprah.
For the other.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, it's really good. I mean, it's not... I always have to say, whenever anything's like more than, I don't know, 5 years old in the documentary. It's a different kind of documentary. Yeah, it looks different. Some of them aren't even HD. They're just shot different. They're edited different. Yeah. I don't mind it, but I think a lot of people are like, what is this? Is this some sort of school documentary? Yeah.
That's what documentaries looked like. It's the same thing. You're just, for Pete's sake.
We've come a long way.
We have, but there's still good information back there.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, this is off topic, but just thinking about like the Britney Spears whole thing, how, we've been doing the show for so long that I remember when you first brought up the Free Britney movement, and it was sort of this, it was a conspiracy theory, really.
It was.
And then it grew and it grew and it grew, and then there was these documentaries, and then now she's free, and then she just got married. I reflect on it a lot because I get annoyed with like the TikTok culture of these idiots who think they can watch a video and think they can solve a crime and stuff. But that is an example of how, like, crowdsourcing
Yep.
and can create a movement that really paid off.
Yep. And I'm thinking, like, you know, I said a while back about documentaries, like, oh, I don't like ones that are kind of like still unraveling now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's good. Maybe we should do that to start bringing attention to things that are kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's true. It can really mobilize people.
Yeah, it can mobilize people. And also have people come out of the shadows or out of the, you know, wherever and be like, oh, yeah, like me, I don't want to say me too, but like me too.
What?
Well, no, like, because everybody thinks about the Me Too movement, but in a way, like, yes, I like that things happen to them or like other victims come out or like more information comes out or you find somebody like Golden State Killer was always going to be the
Oh, that's a great example,
best
too.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. And Michelle McNamara, I mean,
Yeah.
that was a labor of passion.
Yeah.
And my God, that the price she paid was too high, of course, but
Of course.
my God, I cannot believe they found that guy.
I know. So
I kind of thought there'd be way more people they were going to find though after that.
like
of
more
DNA.
murderers?
Yeah, sort of like not necessarily murderers, but like high profile unsolved crimes.
How do you know they're not?
Well, I follow the news.
Yeah, and murderers.
I mean, you do hear of them, but I thought there would be just a ton.
Yeah.
And murderers, Sarah.
Well, you do.
That's true, I do.
It's accurate. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, because of the 23andMe and all that jazz.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's wind it down before I die.
Oh, Susie's gonna like get drunk on cough syrup because it's the only thing keeping her alive.
Yep.
Oh,
but you know, if you're into cults, you might want to watch Keep Sweet. It was informative.
oh, it's like, and look at the eyes. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. Do you think he was born like that?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like what we say all the time. You know better than I do.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'd have to know what he was like when he was little.
Well, my guess is abused.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously. So it's one of those, but like...
It's like that book, What Happened to You?
Yep, it's totally that. Oh, God.
Remember when you changed your mind about crop circles?
Oh, my God.
That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I think the best thing about crop circles are probably like that. Now that I know that they're fake, tip of the hat to those people making them because those look great.
They're very circular.
Yeah, so good job, guys.
Good job. Sarah.
What?
That's the funniest thing. I just love it. Like how you keep saying they're fake.
They
I
are
like that word.
Like they're
Like
not aliens is what I mean. I know they're real, but not created by aliens. They're created by some dudes with planks.
Stop being hilarious.
Why is that funny now?
I don't know. I feel like you're being extra funny.
I'm not meaning to. I'm being dead serious.
I can't take it. You guys, I'm not okay.
Oh, gosh.
Remember when Swedish people were fucking assholes?
Assholes. So passive aggressive.
Right.
They like kick you out. Like they don't even kick you out. It's worse than that. They just don't set you a place at the table and then sit down and start eating. Can you imagine?
I would
It
sooner
actually
die.
makes me uncomfortable to think about that. I would feel I would feel so rejected. Oh God, I'm revisiting it. Oh.
What was the ethnicity of Rose Nyland on Golden Girls? Was she Swedish? What was she?
No, she was Norwegian, I thought.
Was she?
We have to look that up.
Yeah. Because none of these are ringing a bell.
Was she...
What was the ethnicity of Rose Nyland? We'll find out.
Come on. Where is she?
Where is Rose Nyland from? Oh, they'll just say that fucking St. Olaf. Oh, Norwegian. She was.
Yeah.
It says Norwegian American. That's so funny. This fictional person.
That's great.
All right, foie gras, whatever. I gotta go because I'm gonna die.
Yeah. We'll see you
We'll see you
later.
next
Leave us a
time,
5-star
everybody.
review. One for every cop.